friends, in this video I'm going to be sharing with you the transformation that we did to our back deck. This is pretty much a family project and it took us several weeks to get it completely finished. There was lots of different steps involved, and plus we had to depend on the weather to cooperate. And in Indiana, in the month of May, which you will be seeing this video in June, but in the month of May we had so much rain, it was ridiculous. It rained just about every single day. So we were trying to work between the raindrops and get this deck whipped into shape. Now it's on the south side of our house. It's off my dining room through our patio door, and this deck has just, I have tried so many times to make this deck look cute. We've had the deck as long as we've lived in this house, so 20 plus years, and like I said, it's on the south side of our house, and so it's very hot. It gets very, very hot in the summer. So we really couldn't even use the deck much except for in the spring and in the fall. And so then a couple of years ago we ended up getting an awning. We got it at Costco, and Scott puts it up every spring. He puts the awning up and it shades the deck, and it really does help make it a nicer environment back there. So I tried planting herbs in pots. I've tried for years and years and years to plant herbs in pots, and I've never been successful. Before we got the awning, the shade awning, it was too hot and the plants just fried. Once we got the awning, the plants did better, but I'm not good about remembering to water them, and potted plants need tons of water, and I would always forget. And so I just never had success with pots. I tried herbs, I tried flowers, and nothing ever worked. So this year I decided that I am going to do something completely different on our back deck, and I'm going to make it like a little oasis back there. I wanted it to be colorful and fun, and I was trying to think of another adjective to describe it, and I really couldn't come up with one until my friend Carolyn, who watches my videos, hi Carolyn, saw my 3-tiered tray that I did. If you haven't seen that video, you need to check it out, where I did a gnome village in my 3-tiered tray, and she commented and used the adjective whimsy or whimsical, and I'm like, that's it, that's the word I've been searching for, whimsical. So I wanted my back deck to be comfortable, fun, colorful, and whimsical. So at the beginning of this video, you're going to see all of the work that we've done leading up to the final reveal, and then I will show you the final reveal of how our deck turned out. So these first few pictures are my before pictures. Now in these pictures the deck has already been pressure washed. Now I did take footage of us pressure washing the deck, but I can't find it anywhere. Somehow or other they got lost, deleted by accident, something happened, but I cannot find them on my phones, on my camera, or on my computer. So something happened to that footage. So in my pots that I formerly planted real flowers in or planted herbs in, I decided to get a bunch of silk flowers from the Dollar Tree and just put silk flowers in the pots. I made different arrangements in several of the different pots. And although the initial cost was probably more than what real flowers would be, these will not die on me, and I can get a couple of years use out of them. So in one pot, I decided I was going to try my hand at herbs again. I just love fresh herbs. So in this one pot, I'm going to go ahead and plant one purple basil, which I have never had that before, and then two different kinds of parsley. And then a few days later, Scott put the sunshade up for me. He's got some permanent, I don't know, somehow he fastens it up there, and then he fastens it to that wooden piece there on the front of the deck. Now those blue tarps that you see back there, that is because we've been having issues with water leaking in our roof in a couple of different spots around the skylights and the vents and things. So that's another project that Scott has been trying to get done in between the raindrops, getting the roof fixed. He's got it half fixed and he's working on the other half. And by the time you see this video, he will have the entire roof completely fixed. So that's a good thing. And the other contribution that Scott did to this project was he did this sanding thing. I don't know what this is. It's like a wire brush that's motorized, and he's getting all the rust off of the bench. I was going to have Olivia do it, but Scott was too fearful for her to use it. He was afraid that she might hurt herself. He said that this particular piece of equipment is kind of hard to handle, and debris flies off, and the little wires from the brush sometimes fly off, and so he said, I'll just do it. I don't want her to hurt herself. So that's what he's doing here. He is sanding this bench down. So then Olivia got to have a lot of fun, and she spray painted the bench for me. She really wanted to do this project. It was kind of her idea, and we agreed on the color that we wanted to use, and she had a lot of fun spray painting this bench for me. So even though I am wearing the same shirt, this is several days later than when I did the other flower pots with flowers. Like I said, this project took us quite a long time to get done as far as like
2 to 3 weeks all total to get everything done. So yeah, I'm wearing the same shirt again, but this is a different day. So one of the last projects I decided to do in the flower pots was create another gnome village. Now, as I have said that in previous videos, the gnomes are kind of my summer theme, and they are showing up everywhere in my house. And yes, they showed up here on my deck in this flower pot. So I'm going to go ahead and just put the music back on and show you how I created this gnome village. And here we are putting the finishing touches on the deck, and yet again it rained, so Olivia is wiping the water off the bench before I can put the cushions on that we purchased. And here it is, all done. So let's start here with the tour. This is my peace lily. I've had this for 3 years. It was part of the flowers that were sent to my mother's funeral. There were enough peace lilies that each of her daughters were able to take one home. And I've had trouble with this plant, let me tell you. They're not that easy to care for, and it almost died. Last year it was horrible. Last end of winter, beginning of spring, I thought, I'm just going to stick it out on the deck, and if it survives, it survives. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
and it survived, and I found a better spot for it this winter, and it's actually blooming. It really likes it out here on the deck because we have this sunshade. It keeps it kind of shaded, and it gets lots of rain. We have had so much rain in the last month that this deck will never dry out. And we are like working on this deck in between the raindrops, let me tell you. The table and the bench were Olivia's big project. I didn't get any footage of her working on the table because she did that yesterday when I was not home. But this was part of a set that we bought, a patio set that we bought years and years ago, and it's served lots of different purposes, and it was looking pretty bad. The glass was just really filthy, and the metal, you know, the frame was terrible. So she took it all apart and spray painted it, cleaned up the glass, and it's sitting here so that when Scott and I want to sit out here in the mornings and drinking up our cup of coffee, whoever sits on this end will have a place to put their coffee. Now this gnome I got last year, I think at Aldi, believe it or not. And we named him Norton with a G, G-N-O-R-T-O-N, Norton. Those two little hedgehogs I've had for years. I can't even really remember where I got them. They've been sitting out here on the deck, and so they're little friends to Norton. This bench is made out of metal, steel I think, and my brother-in-law gave it to us years and years ago when he worked at the company that fabricated them, and it was spray painted black, and it's been sitting on this deck for years. Well, the black paint started getting rusted.
And you saw the footage of Scott sanding it down, and then Olivia spray painted it.
We found the cushions and the pillows at Walmart, and they were $5 a piece. So we redid this whole bench for around $25 because we had to buy some. We had a half a can of paint, and it took another full can of paint, pretty much. Just about 2 cans of paint to finish it. And I'm not going to count the first can we had in the cost. But I think it turned out beautiful. Beautiful. And it's just a lovely, lovely place to sit now. Here on the ledge I have the 2 shoo away fans that my friend Carolyn sent me, and we're going to enjoy sitting out here, and hopefully these will keep not only flies away but mosquitoes as well. I think I am going to pick up a couple of citronella candles to burn just in case, because we do get quite a few mosquitoes around here. The pinwheels I got at Dollar Tree, and Scott fashioned a holder for them. These lights, and I will take some footage of the deck at night to see those lights lit up. But those rope lights were, we've had those for years. We used to have a camper, and we used to go camping all the time, but life and situations have happened, and we had to sell our camper. But we did keep the lights, and so I just, you know, twisted them around the railing. There's a plug right there on the side of the house, and so we're going to have lights at night. This is my gnome village. These flower pots, I just decided that I cannot grow things in pots, and so I just decided I'm going to put fake flowers in here, and they will stay beautiful, and you can get about 2 years out of the flowers before they start looking really bad. So my plans are this fall to just take large trash bags and just cover the flower pots to keep the snow and stuff off, and hopefully they will be nice in the spring, and I can just take the trash bags off and they'll be all ready to go. This bird nest, my niece Lydia made that. I'm not sure where she got the gourds, but she made that for me several years ago, and it was painted pink. but the pink paint was starting to flake off, so this was another Olivia project. She kind of sanded it down and cleaned it up and spray painted it yellow for me. As of yet, there are no birds in it, but we just hung it a couple of days ago. This is Ted the Toad. He used to hold the umbrella, the big patio umbrella, but now he holds flowers, and that's Ned the gnome, Ned with the G, G-N-E-D, and he is Ted's friend. I used to have these around at the side of the house, but I decided to bring them out here on my patio instead. We actually do have a resident in that birdhouse. There's a little wren building nests, a huge nest in there. She's been working away at it, and I don't think she's in there right now. They sit in that pine tree and just chatter and chitter and chitter and chitter and scold us when we're out here and they want to get in their nest. I don't think they've laid any eggs yet, but it'll be interesting to see if they actually raise some young in there. And then the last thing is in this pot, I did decide to try to grow some herbs. So I've got two different kinds of parsley and some purple basil. So I was thinking if I only had one pot, actually two if you include the peace lily, to have to remember to water, I might actually be a little more successful at growing plants in pots. So here's what the lights look like at night. I had to take the cushions off because they'll get wet from the dew and stuff. But yeah, I think they look really nice. So there you go, friends. That is how our deck turned out. I'm so happy. It is so cute. I love sitting out there. We were just sitting out there the other day, and we do need to get a couple of citronella candles just to keep the mosquitoes away from our ankles. And I also want to get a fan to put out there because I know once summer hits, it's going to still be hot out there, even in the mornings and evenings, even with the sunshade. But it's so beautiful, and I only have the two pots that I have to remember to water. And if I'm actually sitting out there and enjoying the deck, then I will hopefully remember to water them. My vision is that I will sit out there in the mornings and enjoy my coffee. So that's what I'm looking forward to doing. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like the way my deck turned out as much as I do. Thanks so much for watching, friends, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.